As you can see, Dillon Brooks is not very liked by NBA fans. And yes, they do have valid reasons for not liking him. Let's take a look at some of his most ridiculous quotes. "I just hold a lot of real estate over there in San Francisco. We were able to create something like this and keep building this dynasty. Now I can get him by myself today, so I want to see what he's all about," in reference to guarding Kyrie Irving. There's many more of these quotes online, but the worst one yet was telling the Warriors bench that featured Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, quote unquote, "You suck." Klay responded by holding up his 4 fingers, alluding to his championship rings. Just imagine telling a team full of Hall of Famers that they suck. Dillon Brooks is a knucklehead and he deserves the backlash he's receiving. He's a role player and he's only been in the league for a handful of years, thus he's not even a vet. He's only won 1 playoff series in his entire life, and that was last year. He hasn't earned the right to talk trash because he simply hasn't earned his stripes yet. But what if I told you Dillon Brooks has a secret reason to why he's been trying to beef with NBA players? It's crazy because there's no one else in the YouTube space talking about this. There isn't anyone on TV that's talking about this. There is a method behind the madness, and I'm going to show you why Dillon Brooks might just be the biggest idiot ever or the smartest idiot ever. I'm going to show you a bunch of screenshots of Dillon Brooks beefing with NBA players. I want you to really observe and tell me what you noticed about these pictures. Did you get it? Well, if you didn't get it, he is choosing to beef with NBA superstars. He is not choosing to beef with other role players. This is the method behind the madness. But why? Well, to go viral, obviously. Every time Dillon Brooks talks trash or does something dirty against an NBA superstar, Bleacher Report, ESPN, whatever your favorite media source is, posts it and it goes absolutely crazy. Why does it go viral? Well, the NBA is a stars league. There's probably more LeBron fans in the world than there is Clippers and Hornets fans combined. The same goes for a lot of these superstars. James Harden, Steph Curry, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, even Klay Thompson have loads of fans around the world that want to see them succeed. It's very common for NBA fans today to be a fan of a team and multiple star players. For example, Bulls fans root for D Rose, Rockets fans root for Harden, OKC fans root for Russ, etc. You get the picture. If a role player wants to go viral and increase their popularity, he just needs to beef with an NBA superstar. Just look at Pat Bev. He beefed with Russell Westbrook and CP3 and more. Nobody cares if Dillon Brooks beefs with Anthony Lamb from the Warriors. Who cares? But there's a major problem with these role players beefing with loved NBA superstars. The role player will instantly become hated by NBA fans across the league, meaning these fans will want to see your failure, and more specifically the failure of your team. Meaning if you lose in the playoffs, you'll be clowned by Twitter replies and Instagram comments. If the referees miss a call and it costs your team the game, people will laugh and they will not care if your team got screwed or not. These fans will actively prey on your downfall, but your team's fans will love you as long as you play for them. But when you leave, they will likely start not liking you. You know the old saying about guys like Pat Bev and Dillon Brooks? You hate him if he's not on your team, but love him when he's on your team. The Memphis Grizzlies are no fan favorite. Everybody's preying on their downfalls, and while people have valid reasons for why they don't like them, from Ja Morant to them talking too much, one of the major reasons why is Dillon Brooks and his antics. When the Grizzlies lose in the first or second round this year, it will be a field day for NBA fans everywhere, and the fans won't care about any excuses to why the Grizzlies failed. They will only clown and troll, and the Grizzlies did it to themselves, and Dillon Brooks did it to himself. But why does Dillon want to go viral even if it means sabotaging the Grizzlies season by doing these ridiculous antics? Well, there's 2 reasons why. These 2 reasons involve money. The first reason I'm going to explain is kind of a reach here, but keep in mind we're dealing with the mind of an idiot here. And you see, Dillon Brooks' contract is coming up. He will become an unrestricted free agent after this season, thus making him eligible to go to any team in the league and get paid as much as he wants to, as long as the team offers him the contract. Dillon probably thinks him going viral will increase how much he gets paid next season due to him being much more of a household name. And while I can't entirely say he would be wrong, because if we look at Patrick Beverley's contract before he got waived, he was getting $13 million a year. And if we look at Alex Caruso's contract now, he's getting $9 million a year. Both of these guys got paid at around a similar time, and they both do similar things such as defend and make wide open shots. One just trash talks more, so technically there might be some truth between household names being worth more than guys who don't do any antics. Maybe this is a possibility in Dillon Brooks' mind, but the more logical reason why Dillon is doing all these antics, because he wants to start his own podcast. Yes, I know this sounds very ridiculous, but hear me out, and I would be shocked if I was wrong. You see, in the past year, all of these NBA players are starting podcasts. And well, why are they starting podcasts? It's because podcasts are very monetizable and very profitable if done right. If you've seen the news lately, the whole entertainment industry is putting all their eggs into podcasts. Podcasts are being sold for millions of dollars, and companies are also investing to newly formed podcasts to lose money in the short term with upfront costs, but will likely receive profit in the long term. Now, why would NBA players want to start podcasts if they're already multimillionaires already? And I know I hear the fans of the comment, they should only be focused on basketball. I hear you. But the thing is about these NBA players doing these podcasts, there is little to no risk involved with doing it. You see, because the majority of these NBA player podcasts are backed by big corporations, they don't have to handle production costs, seeking out advertisers, setting up the camera, all that boring stuff to start a podcast. The big corporations will handle all of it as long as the NBA players just show up and talk. That's all they need to do. Now, all this Dillon Brooks stuff will start to make sense after I tell you Patrick Beverley and Draymond Green each have their own podcasts. Patrick Beverley's podcast is backed by Barstool Sports. Draymond Green's podcast is backed by The Volume, which is Colin Cowherd's network. Patrick Beverley and Draymond Green are knuckleheads who aren't as good as they think, that do ridiculous antics all the time, a lot like Mr. Dillon Brooks, and they're getting multi-million-dollar deals for podcasts. So yes, going viral is good for your brand no matter what, if it's negative or not, because hate watching is real. People have hated the Kardashians all these years, they still watch their shows. Dillon Brooks knows if he goes viral and becomes hated by NBA fans, he will become a very polarizing figure in the sports world, and he will likely get a podcast deal soon from Barstool, ESPN, Spotify, or whoever. There's a method behind the madness. It wouldn't shock me if he starts it right before the playoffs, but likely it will be after this season. You see, Dillon makes $11 million a year from his NBA contract, but Dillon wants more money. I promise some of you would be shocked to hear the numbers behind some of these podcast deals in any genre, especially sports. I suggest some of y'all do your research on these deals. It's crazy. It's multi-million-dollar stuff here. And see, the thing about podcasts is rarely do podcasts fall off, because the point of podcasting is to talk about interesting stuff to go viral. This would be perfect for Dillon Brooks. Just look at the comments Dillon has been making. It's very obvious he's going to start his own podcast soon, and he will probably get a multi-million-dollar deal for it. And this is a lot of money for Dillon Brooks because he's not making a lot of money on the NBA level, or he is, but not as much as NBA superstars. Dillon Brooks could potentially become one of the hottest sports podcasts in the world. His crazy takes have been going viral lately. His antics are going viral. He knows how to market himself. But hey, this is all conspiracy. I don't really know for sure, but I mean, all this makes sense. Why would you risk hurting your team for no reason at all? Why would you be hated if you're not going to monetize? I don't know, but a few months from now, Dillon Brooks will either be the smartest idiot in the NBA or the biggest idiot in the NBA.